actually, and I mentioned it during the Christmas sermon as well. I said we actually gained something in the fall. We didn't just lose. Okay, yes, we lost a lot as far as our ability to fellowship with God. We lost a lot as far as our life, our health, and all the bad things that happened in the world because of the fall. But we actually gained some things. We gained the knowledge of good and evil. We would not have had that knowledge if we did not fall. Okay, and by default, when you gain that knowledge, you are going to fall. It's an inevitable consequence of gaining the knowledge of good and evil. Okay, and that's why I said an example during the sermon, because Burke is not remembering that part. I said God didn't just say to Elijah, I'm going to send you to save the world. You're going to die for the sins of the world, because Elijah could not have done that. He wasn't capable of doing it. And God didn't just create another being and say, okay, I'm going to have you die for the sins of the world. That wouldn't work, because that being would not have a knowledge of good and evil. And because of that, he's not qualified to take away our sin, which was based on the knowledge of good and evil. But as soon as he developed that knowledge of good and evil, it would have been because of disobedience, and he would then be fallen. It is impossible for a created being to take away the sins of other beings. Okay? Which means that Jesus Christ by default must be God. God himself did the work in the person of Jesus. He did not create Jesus. Remember, I talked in the sermon about he was begotten. He was not created. Some people will say that Jesus was created in the womb of Mary. That is a heresy. It's known as Valentianism. It is impossible, because if he was created in the womb, he would not be a suitable substitute. And he also would not be a descendant of David and of Abraham and of all the people that he descended from. He did inherit human DNA. He came from the creation and from the Father. He is God, he is man. Okay, so